Hello everyone, welcome back my YouTube channel Salesforce. This is Rohit and today I'm going to show you Lightning/UI GraphQL API module using wire adapter and wire function. So it's still in beta, but you can use it in your project and it's a very useful directive or module in LWC, and I will show you one by one this wire adapter and function. So if you are new in this channel, so please subscribe the channel so you never will miss any kind of update from my side, and also watch this video until end if you want to learn something new. So let's get started without any further delay. So let me explain to you first what is GraphQL. So if you don't know about this GraphQL, you can watch my one of the video in my playlist. So in the YouTube, just search. So once you search these things, now my video comes number 3. So you can watch this video if you want to learn more about it, like GraphQL. How to work on this GraphQL, let me show you here. So first of all, let me open my VS Code, and under the VS Code we have to write some code for this GraphQL. And basically GraphQL wire adapter manages your data using Lightning Data Services, that is called LDS. You don't need different wire adapters for each query defined in the GraphQL schema. Unlike the other wire adapter, instead of LDS provides a single wire adapter that's accept a GraphQL query. Okay, so this is very most important. You can use it, right? So how to use it? Let me show you here. So first of all, you have to create LWC component. So if you are using Windows, so just you can press Ctrl+Shift+P and create Lightning Web component name. Here you have to give the component name. So my component name is contacts, for example. Enter it. So now you can see my component is created successfully here. So just you have to write some code under here. So before that you have to import the module, and my module name is like import. So you have to write like import, and you give like GQL. This is the module like GQL, and another one is GraphQL. So these two things you have to import from this module. So my module name is Lightning. Here this is the module name. You have to import it before using any kind of code regarding this GraphQL, right? So once you've done it, now you have to write your wire adapter. So always use this decorator like wire, right? So you have to write your query under this wire like wire adapter. So how to write that? So under here, just focus it. Under here, let me enter let's say a wire. Under wire we have GraphQL because we already imported it like this, and under here we have to write like query. So GQL query. So GQL query always write under here, and after that you have to write like query get contacts, right? And we have to write like UI API. So under UI API, so we have to give UI API. After that we have to give this colon or this bracket. So once you write this get contacts, and under this get contacts we have UI API. Under this UI API we have to write like query. So we have to write query. Under the query we have like contacts, right? Contact. So we have to write like contact, right? And once you write the contact, you can pass like first 5 or like last 5, something like that. And after that you have to give like order by, if you want to sort by the name or any kind of thing if you have. So you can give this order by clause. So order by colon, and then after that you have to give like name and name colon, then you have to give this one, and here order, which one? ASC. So ASC means ascending. So I'm taking this ASC here. After that you have to give this one, and then you have to write like ages. So ages is nothing but it's a node kind of like implement is because GraphQL always work with ages nodes. So please keep in your mind, right? So once you write these things here, under we have to give like node, like this node, and then ID, then name, and then under the name we have like value. So we have to provide the value, and if you have more than column you can use it like font, title, something like that, but for now I'm using only name here. So once you write your query, just you have to give here one variable like GraphQL, something like that. And once you done it, now our wire property is ready to use. How to use that? Let me show you here. So you can use like where clause inside our like this query. Otherwise you can use directly here if you want. So you can use it, otherwise leave it as it is. So now here, let me show you here this one. So once you write it, now you have to do one thing. Just write like getter get let's say contacts. Okay, and this is a wire property, and it's always written the return this dot GraphQL dot data UI API dot query dot you have to use like contact here, because I want to contact here is this one, and age is dot map. So how to use it inside my HTML? So we have to design this HTML for this JS. So you can open it here. So just open the HTML part. Under the HTML part, I want to use the card first, like LWC card, and make it title, or you can change the title like GraphQL with LWC or LWC, right? You can give any name as you want. Let me remove it. Once you've done it, after that you have to create your like HTML part. So HTML part is easy, right? So before that, let me add the template here, like template, because I want to check the data first, if data is coming from the database or not using GraphQL. So we have to use new directory that is called LWC if, and after that we have to check that data like GraphQL dot data. So GraphQL, here you can see GraphQL, right? Just copy it and paste it here. I need to check the data is coming or not. After that, I need to write one div. Under this div, I need to write like SLDS class, and SLDS class SLDS margin around, SLDS margin around, or just you can write like margin here, and it's automatic give this class, right? Under here we have to use for each loop. So we have to write template again, and under this template, right, we have to use for each. So just for colon each, and after that you have to give that binding variable property. So we have like contacts. So just copy this one, paste it in your HTML, and once you done it, after that you have to use like for item, like item, and item name contact, right? So once you done it, after that you can display the contact ID name, something like that, based on your requirement. You can use it, otherwise leave it as it is here, right? So once you done it, now under here I want to use like a paragraph. Under the paragraph I want to use like contact ID and like contact name. So based on the requirement, we can use it like this. So once you saved it, just save it, and after that we have to expose this component, right? So just change this is exposed to true, and our target, and let me deploy this component in the so just let me deploy it. So here you can see Salesforce org, right? So let me deploy this one. So under the home page I want to deploy it. So under home, let me open the home here and just drag and drop that component here using Lightning Builder page. So just click on this gear icon, edit page, and choose your component from custom. Just drag and drop your data like component here, left to right, edit it, save it. Once you save it, just go back here, and now you will be see the output of this GraphQL like this. So this is the 5 records and it's ascending order, that's why you can see. Okay, so if you want to check the records, so just open the contact, and under the contact let me check all the contacts here, and this is the 5 records like Andy, author, song, Ashley, Avi, and the Barbara, right? So you can see this one. If you need like more data, so you can change inside our like this code. So just make it like first 10, save it, deploy it, and let's see the output, right? So it's easy to handle this GraphQL and everything, right? So just deploy it and let's see the output. So let me refresh it. This time you will be see 10 records, and now immediately you can see the 10 records, right? So based on your requirement, you can use it because this is property. So let me change some HTML inside this component and make it like GraphQL with LWC wire property. Okay, let me deploy it. It's easy to understand, right? That's why I'm taking this example here. So once you've done it, now just you have to refresh your component and let's see the output. So just refresh it, and now you can see. Just let me refresh it because sometimes it's a cache issue. Okay, or let me check my component saved or not. Yeah, it's already saved. Refresh it. Now you can see immediately GraphQL with LWC with wire property. So this data came from the Salesforce database, but we are not using any kind of like Apex or SOQL query, right? So we are just using GraphQL. So GraphQL is a fast, reliable, usable, and it's a like easy to understand and easy to implement and easy to read. So you can see each and everything in the wire property. So this is the wire property here to here, right? And this is for getter to getting the values from this query. So this is the easy way to implement it. Now let me explain to you how to use wire function inside this GraphQL. So wire function is easy to use, right? So we have to use this in this like data and error. So this kind of things we can use it here. So how to use it? So let me show you here. So once you write this code here, right? So let me change this wire property to wire function. Very easy, right? So you can try yourself like this because of like once your component is ready with the wire property, so you can change into the wire function. So it's easy to handle it. Okay, so once you write it, now do one thing. Just you can use existing one or you can create new one based on your requirement. You can use, right? So I already use like a GraphQL here to here. This is the query, or just let me add another at the rate wire GraphQL, or just copy and paste. So it's easy to understand. So let's copy and paste it here and make it GraphQL 1. After that, you have to use like property. So I want to use GraphQL. Okay, GraphQL 1, and under here we have to use two types of like imperative property inside this so once you did these things, now if data is come, so we can use it like this. So we have to define something in the like result and errors. So you have to use this property in the top, because always this is the best practice to define all the properties in the top. Let's say results and errors, right? So now let me use this result. So you can store the result. This dot is result. After this one, this dot result, and data dot UI API query dot contact dot edges dot map, and you can map it like with is and is nodes, right? So I can use it like this, or based on your requirement you can use it. All right, so after that we have to use error as well. So this dot, so here we have to use this dot errors dot error, right? We can store it. It should be like errors, maybe it's multiple, that's why. So we can use this like error or error, right? So just save it. And how to use this, imperative call inside our LWC, very easy and very simple. So do one thing, just I want to debug it, like this dot result, what is the output of this dot result, right? So once you write it, you can maintain like console dot log, right? Console dot like data, and this dot result, I need this dot result, so you can paste it here like this dot result, or you can check the data as well. Okay, so under here I need to check the data as well. So or console dot data like this. So let me deploy it, and later on we will see the UI as well. This data is came from the imperative method from the Salesforce. So just let me deploy it. Once you deploy it, just open it and refresh the page. Let me open the developer, like Chrome developer tool here, and just one thing here, we have to check it our, yeah. So under data, once you expand it, you can see lots of queries and data, something like that, right? So it's a object format. So you have to do one thing, just very simple. You can maintain it, and under the edges we have the data. You can see like node name and immediately ND, everything, right? So data is coming, our like code is working perfectly as we expected. So do one thing, if you want to check this, like data, so always use json.stringify. So let me add here like console dot log, and let's say json.stringify, right? So you can use like this, otherwise leave it as it is here. So here let me change this like data. After the data, or just plus, we can use it, and semicolon, and one more parameter here. So just save it, and this is the data 1 for example purpose. Let me deploy it, and let's see the output. Okay, so here, so it's successfully deployed. Let me open it and let me refresh this one. You will be see the output, correct output you can see in the like exact format. It's a string format right now, because we already convert object to string using json.stringify. That's why you can see that data. So let me design this component using like HTML. So under here, let me add another card, just copy and paste. So this time is wire function. Okay, so it's easy, and how to use it, very simple. So instead of like LWC graph, this one LWC if equal to, this is checking for the wire property, so no need this one right now. We have to use like results, because our data comes under the result. After that, we have to use like results instead of contacts, and like contact, and we can use like this. So just save it and deploy this code. And once you deploy it, so you will be see this two outputs with the same window. One is came from wire property, and one is came from wire function. So just let me refresh this page, and let's see the output. So just refresh it. Immediately you can see the two output. First is came from wire property, and second one is came from wire function. So it's easy to debug and easy to handle it. So you can learn from here as well, right? So guys, I hope you learned something new in this video. If you feel like this is a very more informative for us, so please subscribe the channel, share, like, comments, and don't forget it to subscribe the channel again. And till then, bye bye, take care. See ya. Thank you for watching, guys.